Hey you guys, so a lot of you were asking for a propagation video, and so I grabbed my small Golden Pothos out of my bedroom. She needs watering, but I figured now would be as good a time as ever to give her a little haircut and let you guys join in. So I found these containers at Dollar Tree. It comes with the lid, obviously. You can't really make it a mini greenhouse without a lid, so I think it's the perfect size. I've got my water. I love this thing, by the way. And my moss. So I'm gonna go ahead and layer this with the moss and go ahead and saturate it and then start clipping on my pothos. So I know a lot of people like to use different things for their propagation kits. I use sphagnum moss is what I've been using here lately, and it's been working really good for a lot of my plants. Usually within 2 to 3 weeks I can see some roots starting to form. Get this good and wet. Alright. There we go. Still trying to learn how to work this thing, but it's got different sprayers. Like you can change the force, or I guess quote unquote the shape of the spray. So just getting that good and moist. I think that should be good. All right. I'll dry my hands off real quick and then we will start cutting. So I'm gonna slide this right here. So I feel like pothos are probably the easiest outside of alocasias, because alocasias come with the corms, but I feel like pothos and any other plant that has nodes are probably the easiest to propagate, mainly because you have a good visual of where you're going to be cutting at. So I'm gonna get a little closer. So these are nodes. This is, you want to cut below that. So I'm gonna do several cuttings off of this girl and we will get her into the moss. Got my clean scissors. All right. So you'll find the node and you want to cut between, sometimes if you see another node right away, sometimes I go below the second node just so they're a little bit more fuller as the roots come in and when you plant them, versus having one leaf per rooting system that you get. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this one here. I don't know why propagation is always so nerve-wracking for some people. When I first started doing it, it scared the crap out of me. I was like, I'm gonna kill my plant. So we've got this sleeve, we got that node right there. Clip. Oh, don't want to cut her too short, but she grows really fast. So she's in a southwest facing window in my bedroom. So she gets a ton of sun from noon until the sun goes down. So I've been watering her. I don't water her until the leaves start to do like they're doing when they start to curl in. And that usually takes about sometimes 2.5, 3 weeks. So even with it being wintertime, she's still getting watered pretty regularly, and is pushing out new growth like none other. So I'm gonna give her a haircut before she lands on my husband's pillow, and we'll see if we can make a whole nother plant out of her. That's a good spot. Probably a few more, and then we'll be good to go. I want to keep her kind of even, so don't want it to be too short, but I don't want to have to cut her again in like a month. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I think that's good. Good little haircut. So I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna clean up these cuttings. So like a lot of them have like a whole lot of extra at the top. I'm just gonna snip those down a little bit so that way when I put her in the moss, all she's gotta worry about is that little node. So clean these up real quick and then I'll show you guys where I place them in the moss, and I will close her up and I'll check on her in about a week, 2 weeks. Let's say New Year's. I'll do an updated video in New Year's. So I did this one. So we'll do an updated video on New Year's to see how they're doing. See if we have any action on the roots. I think propagation is like probably the most relaxing thing when it comes to plant care and plant chores, only because you get a chance to make your original plant smaller, but then also make more plants. So it's like a win-win situation. This is also the plant that my children picked. They picked off of the mother plant, the huge one that's over by our dining room window, to do the clippings for their teachers. This is the first baby plant from that plant, and then the little ones that they made for their teachers. So these are all, oh, I dropped one, I think. Nope, I didn't. So these are the clippings. So I'm going to get ready to place these guys in the moss, put the lid on, and call it a day with my propagation video. So I'm gonna get you guys a little closer. So the moss is good and wet. I sprayed it down really good. It's not too saturated, but it's wet enough. So the most important thing with moss and plants with nodes is you want to make sure that the node is going to be in the moss. So we'll just start. And then I'm going to cover it a little bit. Just the node area, not the leaves. I don't know if this is enough box for all these. I should have thought about that. super excited to see how these come out. I've never done like pothos cuttings in moss before, so I'm excited to see what comes of it. And then I'll give them a good spray down, merely because they were already somewhat dry when I clipped them. These leaves are so huge. I'd be curious to find out if these leaves like perk up once they get in this moisture, like they would normally do when they're in the pot. I'm trying to make sure they're covered. Sorry, y'all, if I block the camera. 2 more. This pot is gonna be like super crammed. All right, we've got them in there. I'm gonna turn this on the mist form. Okay, that's what they look like. So we'll check on it the weekend of New Year's and see how everything's going. So I'll put the lid on right here. Clip. Bada bing. Let's check the bottom. Yep, so I have plenty of moss in there so that I don't see any of them on the bottom. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will give you guys an update here soon. So if there's any other videos that you guys would like me to do, just send me a message and I will add them to the list and see if I can deliver. But thanks for joining. Hope you guys have a good day.